Welcome to the Literacy Camp, 7th grade, week 24. So this week we are going to be finding the area and perimeter of a triangle, as well as identifying what type of triangle we will be using, or that we worked out the area and the perimeter for. So what I have here is something that you should remember, how these different triangles look, because you'll need to be able to identify them so that you'll know which equations and which rules to use. There's a basic rule, but then there's some variations to the types of ways that you need to go about solving these types of triangle areas. So our first triangle that we're going to find the area and the perimeter for is a right triangle. Now here in the right triangle, I would say that this is probably the easiest triangle to find the area for, because you use the basis of all triangle or geometry, which is base times the height divided by 2. And then for the perimeter, you simply add all sides. So you have a clear height here and you have a clear base here. So when we multiply the base times the height and we divide it by 2, for this we get 22.79. So the area for this right triangle is 22.79 square feet. Then when we add all the sides together, 8.6 plus 5.3 plus 10 plus 1 equals 24. So the perimeter of this triangle is 24. The next type of triangle we're going to do is an equilateral triangle. For the equilateral triangle, you will indeed multiply the base times the height and divide it by 2, but you have to find the height for this type of triangle, and to do so I drew this little line here beforehand just to save time. But to get the height, you're going to use half of the base, which is why I drew that line, half of the base times the square root of 3. That's the shortest and the simplest route to get to your answer. So half of this s, which is given, this is the base, and even though the sides are equal to the base is what we're concerned about, and the base of this is 5.6. So 5.6 divided by 2, which will give you half, gave us 2.8. So that is half of the base. So this portion right here is 2.8. So 2.8 times the square root of 3 gave us 4.849. So the height of this triangle is 4.849. Then we have to plug in the rest to get our answer. So now that we've determined the height, we can now multiply the base, 5.6, times the height, 4.849, and that will equal 27.1544, and we're going to divide it by 2, because base times the height divided by 2 equals 13.5772. We're going to drop some numbers and round because we can. That will give us 13.58. So the area for this triangle, which is an equilateral, is 13.58 square feet, and the perimeter is 16.8 feet, because we just took 5.6, 5.6, and 5.6, and we added them all together. We got 6.8. The very last one that we're going to do, which is the Isosceles Triangle. For this one, you're going to use a theorem, which is called the Pythagorean theorem. And you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the height. So though you're going to do base times height divided by 2, you're going to also have to find the height of this triangle because the sides are equal but the base is not. So this equation is what you're going to use to find the height. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Simple, right? So here, what I think is easy for you to do is go ahead and knock out a little bit of math. So I drew this line here to give me half of my base, because we need to find out what half of the base is. And half of the base, which is 3.3, is 1.65. Okay, so going along with the a squared, I'm sorry, let's go back a little bit. So half of the base here, 3.3, is 1.65, and then the side here, because we've now made this just an independent triangle that we're going to work with to see what the height of this triangle is, the entire triangle. So this side right here, which is indicated here, is 6.8. So going with this equation that we're going to use to find the height, the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the a squared in this particular problem will be the height. So the height squared plus 1.65 squared, which is b squared, equals 6.8 squared, which is the c squared. So then when we do our math, which we've already done up here, h squared equals 46.24 minus 2.7225. So we get the 46.24 from squaring our 6.8. So we take the 6.8 first and we plug it there and we subtract this number. So it's almost like you go backwards a little bit. So forward this way, backwards when we get down to actually working it out. So once we do the math there, the 4.6, the h squared equals, which is the height, squared equals 4.6.24 minus 2.7225. So we know that the height squared, or h squared, equals 43.5175 because that's simple math. So then we can determine that the height is equal to the square root, or is the square root of 43.5175. When we put that in our calculator, we get 6.596. So now we are able to do the base times the height because we have found our height. So now we can multiply 3.3, which is our base that was given, times 6.596, which is our height, which we determined from using our equation, divided by 2 equals 10.8. So the area, so the area of this isosceles triangle is 10.88. Then to do our perimeter, we're going to simply, we know that B is represented on both sides as 6.8, which is given, and A is 3.3. So we're going to add 3.3 plus 6.8 plus 6.8 equals 16.9. So the perimeter of this isosceles triangle is 16.9. That is all. I hope I made that as simple as possible for you. Please subscribe and like this video. Tell your friends about me. Have a good day.